rock bottom isn't just poverty. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not what rock bottom. It's the moment really dignity starts like negotiating with survival. Welcome back to another episode of the Case Studies, man. I'm really excited. I'm really happy that you guys have been enjoying it. Although they don't get as many views, the impact that it's been leaving really has got me inspired. Some of the comment sections, man, they blow my mind at things you guys are saying, these long paragraphs on how you really appreciate it. And I was like, I was worried, I'm not gonna lie, at first, because I just felt like, nobody's gonna want to stick around and watch these long videos. But you know, although the views are not as up, it's all good. You guys can help me with that. Get in the comment section, like it, you know what I'm saying? Hype the video up. As soon as you're watching right now, go hit the like button and go leave a quick comment. And then after you're done, leave another comment. You know, I really appreciate that. But this is what I love to do, guys. And it really makes me happy to see that you guys are responding the way you are. So let's get it, man. Eminem, Rock Bottom. The next case study for Eminem would be Legacy. That's off the Marshall Mathers LP 2. Classic album, man. So underrated. But we'll get there when we get there. Get in the comment section. Let me know what Eminem song is worth a case study. Let me know. Classic John, man.
This song is dedicated to
all the happy people.
All the happy people
who have real nice lives.
And have no idea.
Oh man, let's get into it.
To be broke as fuck. I feel like I'm walking a tightrope without a circus net. Popping Percocet, I'm a nervous wreck. I deserve respect, but I work a sweat for this worthless check. I'm about to burst this tech and somebody to reverse this debt. Minimum wage got my adrenaline caged, full of venom and rage. Especially when I'm engaged and my daughter's down to her last diaper. It's got my ass hyper. I pray that God answers. Maybe I'll ask nicer. Watching ballers while they flossing and they pathfinders. These overnight stars becoming autograph signers. We all long to blow up and leave the past behind us. Along with the small fries and average half piners.
Love this rhyme scheme.
Haters turning bitch like they have vaginas. Cause we see them dollar signs and let the cash blind us. Money or brainwash, it will leave your ass mindless. When snakes slither in the grass spineless. That's rock bottom. This life makes you mad enough to kill. That's rock bottom. You want something bad enough to steal. That's rock bottom. When you feel like you bad enough to hear, cause you mad enough to scream, but you sad enough to That's tear. Rock bottom. This life makes you mad enough to kill. That's rock bottom. When you want something bad enough to steal. That's rock bottom. When you feel like you bad enough to hear, cause you mad enough to scream, but you sad enough to tear.
This is a different kind of M right here, man. I had to pull the lyrics up. I got the real lyrics pulled up too, but I also pulled up the lyric video just so I can follow along and stuff. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed this record, man. It's a classic record. This is definitely M Before the Crown. Just the vibes you get from it as far as like where he was at in his life, man. He was in a dark time in his life right here, man. There was so much uncertainty. This song actually is like pretty much still the theme of Infinite, like his Infinite era. This is still the theme of that, so you can see how long that lasted, right? Because Infinite was like 95. I know it dropped in like 96 or whatever, but like most of the records were written in 95. And then you had Rock Bottom that was kind of out before, you know what I'm saying? This was recorded, I mean, he re-recorded it, but this song was made for the night in the 97 era. So it's like, it's crazy, man. Like, it lasted a long time because it was still relevant in 99 when he finally dropped it in January. So it's like, it's still like mind blowing just to think that where he was at. Like when you heard this record, we didn't know he was going to become who he became. Like even hearing this record, it sounded like somebody who just, you know, you got to think about it. He wrote the Slim Shady LP. He didn't blow up. You feel me? Like, yes, it hit #2 on the charts, but he didn't blow up off the Slim Shady LP. Like he did blow up off it, excuse me, like Hi, My Name Is and all that. But what I'm saying is, the most of that album is he ain't touched no paper. He ain't touched no paper. So he was still struggling, still hungry. And I just like the way he opened up with this verse, man. It's just like metaphoric pressure, you know what I'm saying? And it's like it's like you can feel it in your chest type ish. Like definitely like survival, but like felt like survival was his like daily assignment. You could tell just by the way he was like really weaving in these rhymes. Like, so the rhyme structure was dope and all that, and I will highlight that, but more so just the story. I never really got to sit with the actual words, like the actual story he was. I feel like I'm walking a tightrope without a circus net, popping Percocet. I'm a nervous wreck. I deserve respect, but I work a sweat for this worthless check. I'm about to burst this tech and somebody to reverse this debt. So it's like, yeah, all the rhyme schemes are in there. So fire. Flawedzilla had a dope rhyme scheme. This definitely competes with it. But yeah, the at rhyme scheme was so dope in here. But more than anything, this isn't like poetry effect. You know what I mean? Like, this is deeper than that. This is like the reality of like living one mistake, just one, away from collapse. You feel me? No pun intended. But like, Till I Collapse is almost like the end story of what this one started. You know what I'm saying? Like poverty, bottom of the barrel, to like dominance, unstoppable force, Till I Collapse. You feel me? So really dope. But it's funny, like it's the same mindset. So there's definitely pride here, you could tell within these rhymes, but it's bruised pride. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference in that. It's the kind that really works hard, stays honest, and still can't get ahead. So you really feel, nudged in the corner, and like I can really resonate with what he's saying, because I've been in this position before. Absolutely. And when he says his daughter is like down her last diaper, that line lands heavier than most lines in there, because that's his way of flexing. You feel me? That's his way of flexing, talking about the poverty, talking about the struggle, and talking about how he's not going to give up, even though it feels like all the cards are stacked against him. So what makes, I feel like, this whole moment really powerful, in contrast, is just watching overnight celebrities just like kind of just rise while he's just drowning in minimum wage reality, washing dishes or flipping patties, whatever he was doing, right? That's not jealousy though. That's proximity to like hope without access to it. You feel me? Like that's how he feels. Like he can see it, he can almost, but he can't touch it. And it's like, and when hope feels visible but unreachable for him, like that's where he's at, seeing it on TV while he's washing the dishes. And you guys got to get the Way I Am book, man. Like you guys got to get this book, man. There's so much in this book that like he doesn't talk about, you don't hear about on interviews. It's a gem. This book is a straight gem, bro. I learned so much about M from that book right there. But I like this, man. I like where he's going with it. And honestly, this is like when frustration just becomes combustible. Like it's just dog, like just, you can hear the pressure in his voice, you know what I'm saying? And he's just getting started too. He's heating up. So ain't much violence, shock value. That comes in MLP. Like there's not much of that right now, right? This is a man literally explaining how, desperation rewires the nervous system. That's what he's really getting to. Rock bottom isn't just poverty. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not what rock bottom, it's the moment really dignity starts like negotiating with survival. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about, right? But let's keep it going.
My life is full of empty promises and broken dreams. I'm hoping things look up, but there ain't no job openings. I feel discouraged, hungry and malnourished, living in this house with no furnace, unfurnished. And I'm sick of working dead-end jobs with lame pay. And I'm tired of being hired and fired the same day. But fuck it, if you know the rules to the game, play. Cause when we die, we know we all going the same way. Cause it's cool to be the player, but it sucks to be the fan. When all you need is rocks to be the man, plus a luxury sedan. I'm comfortable and roomy in a six, but they threw me in the mix with all these gloomy lunatics that walk around depressed, smoke a pound of cess a day. And yesterday went by so quick it seems like it was just today. My daughter wants to throw the ball, but I'm too stressed to play. Live half my life and throw the rest away. That's rock bottom. This life makes you mad enough to That's rock bottom.
You want something bad enough to steal.
You feel like you bad enough to hear.
You're mad enough to scream, but you're sad enough to tear.
This life makes you mad enough to
That's rock bottom.
You want something bad enough to
That's rock bottom. Damn. Man, love that verse, dog. I love it. And you can feel him like up in the ante with each verse. Like definitely, absolutely. But like you can really like what I'm resonating with is because when I first started listening to M, obviously I was just a young jit, right? I was a young kid. Like I didn't know about I didn't know about a lot of the stuff he was talking about. But now being a father to a daughter, like it's like I relate to him even more now. I used to just be empathetic and I used to just put myself in his shoes and really just relate to him in that sense, but not directly. Now I really relate to him, and it's like now the lyrics hit a lot harder. So here it's like you could tell in the second verse the exhaustion sets in now. Not dramatic exhaustion, just that it's that slow erosion that just comes from dead end jobs, broken promises and just being hired and fired before you can catch your breath. Like if you've been there before, man, I've been in those positions before, but My life is full of empty promises and broken dreams. I'm hoping things look up, but there ain't no job openings. I feel discouraged, hungry, and malnourished. Living in this place with no earnings, unfurnished. Like, damn, dog. Sick of working dead-end jobs with lame pay. Like, yo, he was really getting into it, man. He really getting it. It sounds simple, too. It does, but it does capture the quiet grief that's just of realizing, you know, effort doesn't guarantee progress. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't. And that's hard for us to follow. So when the furnace is out and winter is coming and philosophy doesn't matter, warmth does, you know, and that's that cold reality that he's really getting into, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people try to sell you dreams, just work hard, everything's gonna be fine. Like, no, sometimes you work hard and it still ain't fine, you know what I'm saying? And what do you do then? What do you do then? You keep going. That's what you do. You keep going. But there's also a deeper loss happening here. You know, time with his daughter slipping through his fingers because stress steals presence. It does. That's what it does. It happens to me. Still happens to me to this day. And that line about being too stressed to play ball isn't about parenting either. It's not. It's about what poverty. It's about what poverty robs from a man before he even notices it's gone. And when you're struggling, going through those phases, like, I don't know about y'all, but I came up on poverty. You know what I'm saying? I came up in poverty and we were dead poor, crazy poor. But I can only imagine being in the position I am now with my baby girl and being broke. Oh man, I can't, when I can't pay a bill, I'm stressed. You feel me? I'm stressed. And that's what he means by stress steals presence, because a man gets stressed, he needs to go away. He needs to step away because he don't want his family to see that there's a burden he's carrying, or that there's the weight of the world is getting heavy, right? So he doesn't want his wife to see that, because if you look worried, they get worried, and now you're not doing your job. So sometimes we do got to struggle in silence, but sometimes if we're gonna reach out, it's not always going to be your partner. Sometimes it's got to be another man or you know, a close friend. That's why you got to have your brothers with you, because you don't want to worry the home. You worry the home, now everybody's out of whack, and then, you know, they're losing faith in your leadership and things like that. It's going to happen naturally. For me, it's going to happen naturally. But I like what he gets into here, man. And you know what? There's clarity in that line. When we die, we all know we going the same way. That's perspective born from struggle, though. You know what I'm saying? When survival is daily, you know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, ego fades and reality sharpens. You know, rock bottom is no longer, it's not loud. It's just that quiet realization that life is moving on and you're too burdened to feel it. You know what I mean? So be careful with who you struggle in front of. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's keep it rocking. Love this, man. Dope rhyme structures in there too, man. What he said? He said he had a good line in there that I really liked.
Cause you mad enough to scream, but you sad enough to tear. With a love motto, this life mixed with all these gloomy lunatics that walk around depressed and smoke a pound of cess a day. And yesterday went by so quick it seems like it was just today. My daughter wants to throw the ball, but I'm too stressed to play. Live half my life and throw the rest away.
Yeah, that line, man, I just wanted to hear that again. It makes me kind of sad, you know what I mean? I don't ever want to be in that position. Sometimes, well, so I've already have been in that position, but I'm definitely more aware of it now. You know what I mean? Trying to spend as much time as I can with my baby girl, but it's tough when you got to work. You know what I mean? When you just got to get to it. That's why I try to do most of my working while they're both asleep, so that I'm not taking time away from them. Right now, I'm up late. It's 4 a.m. and I'm recording this right now. It does bring me solace. It does make me happy, and it does allow me to really express myself in the true ways that I always wanted to. And at the same time, it gets the job done. And I'm not taking any time away from my family. I take time away from my sleep. I sacrifice myself, but I can't do that. I got to start, you know, getting proper sleep. And, you know, I'm moving towards that, eating healthier and, you know, being able to manage myself a little better. But let's keep it rocking.
Rock bottom. Life makes you mad enough to that's rock bottom. You want something bad enough to that's rock bottom. You feel like you fat enough to hear, cause you mad enough to scream, but you sad enough to that's rock bottom. This life makes you mad enough to that's rock bottom. You want something bad enough to that's rock bottom. You feel like you fat enough to hear, cause you mad enough to scream, but you sad enough to tear. There's people that love me and people that hate me, but it's the evil that made me, this backstabbing, deceitful and shady. I want the money, the women, the fortune and fame. That means I end up burning in hell scorching your flame. It means I'm stealing your checkbook and forging your name. This lifetime list for eternal torture and pain. Cause right now, I feel like I just hit the rock bottom. I got problems, now everybody on my block's got them. I'm screaming like them two cops when two blocks shot them. Holding two blocks, hope your doors got new locks on them. My daughter's feet ain't got no shoes or socks on them. And the rings you're wearing look like they got a few rocks on them. While you flaunt them, I could be taking them to shops to pawn them. I got a couple of rings and a brand new watch, you want them? Cause I ain't never went gold off one song. I'm running up on someone's lawn with guns drawn. That's rock bottom, life makes you better.
Dog, come on now, bro. You can't tell. That's one of my favorite M verses of all time. I'm not even capping. Those are one of my favorite M verses. It's really the conviction of how he's rapping. And honestly, you got to think about it, right? M has come so far, dog. And the reason why I wanted to start with Rock Bottom is because how people just be hating on M, dog. Like, in the culture, man. And that's cult with a capital culture, right? Capital cult. They still hating on M, bro. And I'm really at a point now where I'm just like, forget them. You know what I mean? Like, don't appease them. You're done. You paid enough homage, bro. It's time to stop paying homage. Honestly, dog, they owe M homage. Like, people, he needs to stop paying homage because at the end of the day, man, they really be dissing him. Like, they really dismiss him. Bro, they discredit him at every turn, and everybody's in on it. That's the wild part about it. Everybody in the culture is in on it. The only ones who are not are the ones who are aligned with him. It's just wild, man. So every once in a while you hear a rapper come out and defend him, it's like rare. It's almost like people are scared to do it. And like, obviously most of it has to do with him being white, but it's just like, he goes through the opposite, you know, what black people were going through at one point, trying to get into these industries and being blackballed or gatekeeped out of these things, like because they were black or whatever, you know, all the things that we had to, not we, but everything that our ancestors and, you know, our grandparents and stuff like that had to go through in this country. And it's like, M was going through this to get into hip hop. They was gatekeeping him. They didn't want to sign him because he was white. They didn't want nothing to do with him because he was white. That was in the streets and in the industry. The reason why he blew up is because he was undeniably great. Yes, he was destined to be king. Destined. And that's why they hated him, because they saw it coming. You feel me? Let me put it to you this way. Jay-Z, 1996, you know, that album flopped. You know what I'm saying? Still a good album, but it did kind of flop, right? It ended up selling out later, but it kind of flopped. All these dudes, Nas just came out of nowhere, boom. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't king. Pac was still out, you know, Biggie was still out, Wu-Tang was still on top of the world. Like, Nas, Illmatic didn't just take over the industry. No, it didn't do that. It didn't do that. Everybody, I'm just saying, all these rappers, right? A lot of the big names, you didn't see it coming. You feel me? Tupac, it took a while for him to bubble. Biggie just came out of nowhere. You feel me? So what I'm saying is, with M, they saw it coming. They saw it coming. And that's why, and because he was white, they didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? They were afraid M was going to just birth a bunch of other Eminems, right? They didn't care if they were nice or not. They just didn't want a bunch of white rappers taking over hip hop. They was looking at it like, yo, they took over, you know, rock and roll. Black people doing their rock and roll thing. And they feel like white people came and took it over, like Elvis. Now they feel like Eminem is the new Elvis of hip hop. Like, that was the stigma they were doing. That's why the beef with Benzino and all that popped off, with the Sorts Awards and all of that. And it's really sad because, like, he should have been embraced. You know what I'm saying? As much as royalties and, you know, the chart records and all that, everything he's done, all the awards he's won, he's broken every record. Every time he said, I sound like a broken record every time I break a record. That's no lie. And the crazy thing is, they still dismiss him. You know what I mean? And I know that does bother him. Deep down, it bothers him. You know what I'm saying? It still bothers him. And you can hear it in his lyrics. You know, Kamikaze told you that he didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's at a point where it's like, dog, you've done it all already. You don't need to continue trying to prove yourself. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Move on. But, you know, I feel like now in the third verse, I really feel like we reached a breaking point, though, right? Because I feel like the place where, you know, morality, I guess, kind of wrestles with desperation, this is where he's ending at now. Because we've hit the climax. And when he admits he wants money and fame, even if it costs his soul, pretty much, he isn't glorifying corruption, though. You got to pay attention, because he's actually exposing the psychological toll of prolonged struggle. You know what I mean? That's kind of the thesis of what this song is about. And I feel like he really hit the nail on the head, because poverty doesn't just, it doesn't just empty pockets. It tests values, and it identifies self-worth. Like, it does a lot. There's a lot of creating that's done through struggle. You know what I'm saying? And for this instance, is majority of the topic is poverty. So the image of his daughter, without shoes, while others are wearing diamond freaking rings or whatever the case may be, that's not even envy, even if it sounds like that. It's really just a father confronting his own inabilities to provide. That's what he's really talking about. And you'll miss that if you just jump on the, what's that face value, because that kind of pain that he's describing, it doesn't produce villains. It produces urgency, which is why he got to, because look, right after this, Eminem on the Marshall Mathers LP, boom, then he blew up. He blew up on the second album. But when he says he might run up on someone's lawn with guns drawn, it's not posturing. It's the sound of a man cornered by circumstances and expectations. And it's funny because when he got into the game, there was more of that. So he never could escape this, this bubble he lived in. And even when he was on drugs, and then when he got off drugs, the bubble shrank. It got tighter for him. You know what I mean? And now he's like really he's pretty much a recluse. Like, even though he's clean, he's a recluse. He can't be out and about. It costs too much money for him to step out the house. It really does. He steps out the house, he's got to pay the driver, the security, you know what I'm saying, the hotel, for everyone. So it's like, I don't know, man, it's a lot of money being spent. That's why M don't really do anything. Not because he don't want to spend the money, but because nothing's really worth it. He's not just doing an appearance. Like, he doesn't need the pub. And y'all don't love him anyways. Hip hop don't love Eminem, bro. The OGs do. The OGs respect it. But today's hip hop media, they hate him. They hate him. And I'm tired of it, man. I'm really tired of it. So anyways, man, I really feel like this, in the third verse anyways, it's really just, a moment before the world's crowned him. That's just what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? This whole record, I guess, like, when the pressure to survive really collides with the refusal to disappear. Like, I'm just not going to give up, though. You know what I mean? And rock bottom isn't where a man ends. Rock bottom itself, the physical state of being at rock bottom, that's not where a man ends. It's where he decides what he's willing to become to climb out. Shout out to M, because this is a beautiful beginning song. And this song to this day is still one of my favorite songs. One of his best songs, I think. And I love how the production is so 90s. Like, they could have cleaned this up, and they didn't. And I wonder why. Because some of the songs on the Slim Shady LP were much better, mixed and mastered. This one's still raw, very raw. And I think it helps out the record. It helps out this couldn't have been polished. It kind of brings you to where he's at. And that's real tough to do as an artist. But for M, it seems so easy. But give it up, man, to the king before the crown.
That's why